It's January 9th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have an elite order where loyalty was bought and betrayal was fatal. Words that turn neighbors into enemies, and a treaty that was meant to stop wars. Let's begin. On January 10th, 1430, in the shadowed halls of medieval Europe, Philip the Good, Duke of Burgundy, founded a secretive brotherhood that would outlive kingdoms, the Order of the Golden Fleece. Officially, it was an elite Roman Catholic order created to defend the faith and uphold knightly virtue. But behind the ceremony, it was something far more unsettling. Membership was exclusive. Kings were rejected, princes denied. Only a few chosen were permitted to wear the golden ram suspended from the chain, an ancient symbol tied to sacrifice, power, and divine favor. The knights swore absolute loyalty not just to God, but to the order itself. Their meetings were closed, their rituals undisclosed. Records hint a vow taken in silence, beneath candlelight, surrounded by relics and scriptures. To betray the order was an invitation to disgrace, or worse. As empires rose and collapsed, the order endured, quietly adapting, surviving revolutions, wars, and the fall of monarchies. Even today, its existence lingers, an echo from a time when faith, power, and secrecy were bound together tightly, and never fully explained. Some orders vanish with time, but this one never truly did. The question isn't why it survived, but what was worth protecting for nearly 6 centuries. On January 10th, 1776, in a quiet Philadelphia print shop, a thin pamphlet appeared, without an author's name, yet the words would shake an empire. Written by Thomas Paine, Common Sense was not meant for scholars or politicians. It was written for ordinary people, and that's what made it dangerous. At the time, openly calling for independence from Britain was considered treason, punishable by imprisonment or death. Still, Paine argued the monarchy itself was unnatural, that colonies were not just mistreated, but trapped. His message was blunt, unsettling, and impossible to ignore. The pamphlet spread rapidly, passed hand to hand in taverns, churches, and homes. Within months, tens of thousands of copies were in circulation across the colonies. What made Common Sense so powerful was its simplicity. It stripped away loyalty, tradition, and fear, leaving readers with a single question: why remain rule at all? By the end of the year, the revolution was no longer a whisper. It was inevitable. The revolution didn't begin with gunfire. It began when ordinary people realized obedience was optional. On January 10th, 1920, the guns of World War I were silent, was truly not over. The Treaty of Versailles formally took effect, sealing peace on paper while quietly planting the seeds of another catastrophe. Though it was signed months earlier, the treaty's consequences now became unavoidable. Germany was forced to accept the full blame for the war. Massive repercussions crippled its economy, territories were stripped away, and its military was reduced to a shadow, forbidden even to defend itself. To the outside world, this was justice. To millions of Germans, it felt like a humiliation carved in law. Veterans returned to empty promises, families faced hunger, anger, and shame. Resentment grew quietly, spreading through the broken cities and the defeated hearts. The treaty was meant to end all wars, but instead, it became proof that peace imposed through punishment can turn into something far more dangerous. Because less than 20 years later, the world would learn that lesson the hard way. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.